Hey there, guys. Welcome to the Working Man Sports Talk podcast. Today, we are going to talk about Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs and that matchup against Buffalo, which was a really good game. I would say it was another classic. Wouldn't you say so, John?
It was. It really was. It came right down to the wire.
And as a fan of the game and of the sport and of just entertainment, that's what we look for as good games. But I got to say, that ending, as cool as that would have been, that ending, with Kelsey throwing that ball back to Kadarius Toney, and he gets in there for the touchdown. That's some straight up historic play right there, right?
Oh, it was.
And then it gets taken away because you break the rules of the game. We all know about offsides. We all know about how that thing goes. You can't line up across the ball or even on it. And that's a mistake. And it happens in this game. It shouldn't happen, not like that at least. And Pat Mahomes just loses it, which is that's uncharacteristic of him to lose it like that, especially on a referee. When I first saw the video leak, I thought he was snapping on Kadarius Toney.
Oh, same. I did too. I mean, you saw this dude was over slamming his helmet going off. I'm just like, Kadarius Toney should never been lined up offsides, and like they had the right. And I thought, because I wasn't watching the game for it, I thought maybe it was like third or maybe fourth down. That happened on second down.
I thought it was third.
No, second.
So they still had opportunities to get it going.
And they got pushed back 5 yards for that. So it was 2nd and 15.
So they still had opportunities to score. And granted, like I said, that was a crazy game. And even if they would have scored, who knows? Josh Allen could have maybe pulled the Josh Allen thing out and got down there and scored. These two offenses are very high powered and they have very good quarterbacks. But what I'm thinking about is when I found out he was going after the referee and people were holding him back and he's going nuts, I'm thinking to myself, holy crap. And then to come out and say it was a bad call and then shake Josh Allen's hand. Did you see that video with him and Josh Allen talking?
No, I did not.
At the end of the game, they go shake hands and he goes, that's the worst effing call I've ever heard or ever seen. The worst effing call. And Josh Allen's just sitting there like, bro, like, it's over. Like, you lined up offside. He didn't say anything. He's just giving him that look like, really?
Josh Allen's there like, bro, I finally just beat you for the first time in my career, probably. So.
You couldn't believe he would say something like that, though. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you're offsides. So he lost it. Then Andy Reid said it was an embarrassment to the NFL to make that type of call. And they want to leave it up to the players to decide. But at the same time, the rules are the rules.
And that was left up to the players to decide. He didn't check in with the ref. He didn't even check in with the ref. No. He glanced at the ref and turned away from him. And then the thing that I don't get, you see him, he's looking at the football. He has to notice he's lined up past it.
Sometimes the angles I can see can get tricky. And I know that the receivers do try to get as close as they can. They try to get close. They do try to get close as they can.
But that's when you check in with the ref.
Exactly. And they didn't do that. And it's mistakes like that have killed this team. It's the drop passes, the lineup, offsides. But then to get mad and take it out on the ref, there's going to be a hefty fine coming.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't like this was a debatable call where it was like, oh, man, this was he really there or not? No, we all seen it. So to go off on the ref and then, tell Josh Allen this is the worst effing call I've ever seen in my life. That's the worst effing call you've ever seen in your life? I can't believe that.
No, that's not. I mean, if that's the case, being a Viking fans when you guys play against the Chiefs this year and Sneed and then get called for a penalty for taking his helmet off on the field.
Yeah, but even that one wouldn't even matter.
But I'm just saying, like, you can't sit there and play these tits for tats. As the outcome of the game. Like I said, it happened on second down. You still had
second down.
You had time. You had to repeat the second down. You had third down. You had fourth down, and they're only down by field goal, and they're on the other side of the 50. So all I had to do was do complete short passes.
Yeah, it's usually easier said than done. But you got Pat Mahomes. But the wide receivers are not running the best routes either.
But I feel like that team got so hooked up on that play that no matter what play they ran after that, didn't matter because they were so hooked up on that play.
Yeah, and I mean,
And
here's something: a what if they, let's say the Chiefs win that game and they come back from that play, would Mahomes even complain anymore about it, or would he be like, "Oh, we made a mistake, but we bounced back from it, and we did what we had to do."
no,
You know what I mean?
I don't think he will complain about it. And that's what I'm saying with it is that they all got hooked up on it from the head coach all the way down to the water boy. They all got hooked up on this one play instead of being what Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes usually does is say, next play, we got this. They didn't do that. Oh man, that was a touchdown. Why didn't we score? Because we got lined up outside. Well, that doesn't matter. They haven't been calling that all game. It's like you can't. They got hooked up on one play that messed up the rest of the drive.
Yeah, it's very it's very bad for the game though when the face of the league is coming after the referees too, and you know we all know that Pat Mahomes is going to be the future GOAT of the NFL. I mean, some
Sure.
people would even say he's the current GOAT, but to see that happen and unfold, and I didn't watch that game all the way through. I just caught the news after that. I was doing other things, but while that game was going on, I was watching the boring, horrible Minnesota Viking game, junk game is what I call it. But yeah, that's just sad for the game. And then Patrick Mahomes' wife, I saw a video. They said she posted it online of a MVP font over the top of the ref's head, and she's filming the ref saying that he was the MVP of the game.
And I'm sorry, with you being the face of the NFL, your whole circle has to do better, has to be better.
Yeah, you really do. And like I said, I didn't see the plays after that had happened, so I don't know what defenses were being ran. I don't know if they collapsed on. I don't know, but the Chiefs have nobody to be mad at except themselves, and that goes for all their losses because they're not getting blown out all these games. They're literally have games in their hands and they're dropping the ball. They're dropping the game.
They are.
This team, this isn't like they're getting dominated. They're not being dominated.
No, not at all. They're not being dominated at all. They're just not finishing.
And you can't have that, especially when you're playing against teams like Buffalo, which I don't think that record really reflects who that team is. But that's a whole different topic. But I think that if this team wants to get back on track, they got to start holding themselves accountable and stop blaming everybody else.
Yep. I agree with you. And get some wide receivers because
get some receivers. But you got Benamy. Remember when he was there and he was calling that offense? If he was there, okay, so he goes out to, I heard them talking about this. I can't remember what show it was on. He's out in Washington, though. And they say he's so hard on them. He's so hard on them. Dude's a Super Bowl winner.
Because he knows what it takes.
And I guarantee if that he was there with the Chiefs, that would have never happened. Because he was so detailed on everything. You held you accountable to a standard, and the fact that has slipped through, the drop passes that have happened to win games, to keep games in their possession, well, I don't know what to tell you. Except hold yourselves accountable and do better.
I think after this, because you're too deep now to sit there and try and change out your personnel with your wide receivers and everything.
Way too deep.
I truly believe next season they need to sit down and say, hey, let's start this wide receiver core all over again from scratch.
Yeah, they could. And here's the thing. This is going to be the first time possibly in Patrick Mahomes' career that he will be playing in an away game in the playoffs. Never.
I mean,
he's never played an away game in the playoffs.
I'm not getting counted out yet because it's Patrick Mahomes.
But I'm just saying, this could possibly be the first time. I mean, Miami had a chance to sew it up last night, and they blew it.
No, they did.
But I'm saying there's a possibility that this could be the first time that he goes and plays away. And it's sad to see that how that whole debacle took place. Hopefully, they can get that back on track for themselves and learn from that situation and come back even stronger. And let's also put this into a perspective. They did not have Pacheco that game either. So that does make a difference.
It does. But Kadarius Toney, just put him on the bench. He has lost games for them more than I can count this whole season.
He has been messing up a lot.
Put him on the bench.
He had, and here's the crazy thing: he had he had 2 carries for 16 yards on his rushing, and he had 3 catches for 25 yards.
How many targets did he have though?
I don't know.
Look that
I
up.
don't know how many targets he had.
This man has been dropping balls from day one.
He has, and it hasn't been good. It has not been good. When you look at the team, the people they have, it's like Travis Kelce. He had 6 receptions for 83 yards. He was averaging 13.8 yards a catch. You can't depend on just one guy to throw to. And that was coming down to that, but he did make that play, which was nice. But when you don't do the basics, it will come back and get you. And that's really unfortunate how this whole thing, again, played out with him going after the refs. I thought he was going after his teammates and getting them fired up, and maybe they would come back. But now that's a whole different thing they got to figure out now. That's way different than what I expected it was going to be. That's just wild, though. I mean, could you imagine you play on a football team and your guy lines up offsides and you go after the referee?
No, that's like insane. Like, why would I go after the referee when the referee's just calling the play when my guy's the one that messed up?
Yeah, and then you talk like, well, this was a great play, and he took it away from us. You should have just let us play. So you're saying that the referees at a certain point in the game when it's close should just negate all the rules and say, well, let them play, let them figure it out. No way.
If that's the case, all quarterbacks just should be free to get hit.
Yeah, let them play. Let them get hit. If that's the way you want to go, to throw the rules out the window. And now there was a complaint that someone said that Von Miller did line up offsides, but I don't think it affected the play, and I don't know if he did or not. I didn't see that one either, but it wasn't anything crazy, I don't think. That, like I said, I can't really speak on it too much because I didn't see it. Like I said, I was too busy watching the junk game between the Raiders and Vikings. That's ugh. But yeah, that's just really sad. And hopefully, like I said, he can he'll probably pay his fine. Andy Reid will too, and they could bounce back from this and get this under control because they got to do better than this. But hey, it is what it is. I guess teams go through ups and downs, but you can't do that. You can't just go after the ref, especially the way he was slamming his helmet going after the ref. That's bizarre. That didn't even seem like that was Mahomes at all.
No, it didn't.
But we'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens and see if they can make a run for it. That's all I have to say about this, though. Do you have anything else you want to say about this?
I got nothing else. Just go Giants, go.
Go Giants, go. Go Tampa, go Vikings. And you'll hear from us soon. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. We want to hear from you. Thanks, guys.